the solution can be defined by two main components, essentially, the hardware, the kiosk hardware, and the content management software. The kiosk itself controls access to the devices via a card reader, so your badging system, essentially. It could be an RFID, an NFC, or other type of reader. So when the device is in the kiosk, it is physically locked. So you will need your badge to check it out. And while the device is in the kiosk, it charges and communicate with our backend software. And that, we'll talk about it a little later, but that enables content management. So generally, the solution supports tablets and laptop, and we have these both deployed there at some of our customers, including Air Canada. The system support all major OS, Mac OS, iOS, Windows, and Android, and it's fully scalable. So we have few installation with only a few dozens of devices, and some with thousands. But and most of the time, the kiosk is installed in a self-serve environment. So in the hangar, for example, so check-in and check-out is done by the mechanics. You don't need the overhead. So then you eliminate the logistic part of it. So when a mechanic needs a device, it goes to the kiosk, take out a device, and go to work. If he breaks it or runs out of battery, he comes back to the kiosk and take a new one. So all this logistic is taken care of by the kiosk. This is for the hardware, essentially. And as you can see, this really automates the logistic component. On the software side, the main function of the solution is to automate content deployment of any kind. It could be an app update, it could be an OS update, it could be technical publication deployment, or any other content that requires to be sideloaded to a specific application. By integrating with these apps, and that's what we do all the time, that's our bread and butter, essentially, the process becomes totally seamless and really zero touch. So the IT team is not involved at all when it comes down to content management. So we have a team actually dedicated to that, to automation, and we're constantly integrating apps from different vendors in order to satisfy that goal, which is seamless and zero touch operation. Additionally, the device can the solution can wipe clean the device after usage. This is something that most of our customer uses. So there's no login information or browsing information from the previous user on the device. And we can also upload the information before performing a wipe. Sometimes it's required if there's some data that needs to be synced for the next user. So you don't want to lose that data set. So we'll upload the data to a target and then wipe the device. This is all things that are configurable by users. For a simple task, related to device management, we've integrated with best-of-breed MDM. For iOS and Mac OS, we use Jamf. For Android, we use Nox, and for Windows, we use Microsoft Tools. So in a nutshell, this is the solution. The goal was always to make the shared device model the approach of choice. And by doing this automation, we believe it removes all the pain point related to its implementation. And as we said earlier, the pain point is being able to logistically and from an IT perspective, to be able to have teams in place where you need them across your organization to do these tasks. And that was basically this was the goal of when we defined the system with Air Canada in 2015.